Hello, everybody. My name is Eli Hollingsworth, and welcome back to Against the Current, a The Chosen podcast, where today we're talking about The Chosen Season 4, because what else would we ever talk about? Today, I'm talking about my spoiler-free review of The Chosen Season 4, episodes 4 through 6, the next 3 episodes of Season 4. So if you haven't seen them, no worries, because I'm not going to talk about any specifics, but if you maybe want to know what I think before you see, or if you should see, I'm guessing you already have your tickets. Here's my quick spoiler-free thoughts, so let's go ahead and roll that intro. And just like that, we're over the halfway point of the entire show. Not just Season 4, but the entire series, because now we have 3.5 seasons left, which is pretty crazy to think about, but very exciting as well, because we're nearing the end of the story, and I'm excited to see how all of the big events unfold in the later seasons. But Season 4, episodes 4 through 6, we're already almost done with Season 4. That's pretty crazy. It's gone by so quickly. These 3 episodes are really, really good. The writing just keeps getting better. They're more fine-tuning what they're doing. They have a better idea of where they're going. Now, they've always had an idea of where they're going right from the beginning, right? But I think they've just they've found their rhythm. They found their rhythm in Season 3. Now they just get to expand and just really hone in on the things that they know they're really good at, the things they know that we want to see, the things that they're strong suits, and the way that Dallas, Tyler, and Ryan, the writers, all put their skills together to create these unique and interesting moments is just spectacular. And they do a really, really good job. And these episodes are very intense, I will say that. The first episode 4, is a little bit more lighthearted, but once you get to 5, and especially 6, episode 6 is very, very intense. There's a lot of dramatic moments there. I mean, The Chosen continues what we've been seeing from the show and what we all love about the show. It continues these really human moments, a human perspective and insight into the lives of Jesus and his disciples. And the funny moments are still there. Now, there's a big event that happens in Season 4, Episode 3, which if you've seen it in theaters, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you do know what I'm talking about. That really has some major implications. So we pick up right where Episode 3 left off, and there's a lot of interesting ways that event plays into the larger story and the way that it affects each character individually. There's a cool sequence in episode 4 where we're kind of looking at the different perspectives of each character on the event that happens in Season 4, Episode 3, and just the ramifications that it has for the rest of the show. And again, just these natural progressions of events that happen to where something big happens, or there's a big groundbreaking moment that is shocking, or it's a twist reveal like in Episode 3. And then we kind of see all of the different parties involved, the Pharisees, the Romans, the disciples, everybody, how they react to that, how that affects the larger world that we're in, and it fleshes out all the details of this world and this setting and this scenario that we're in this specific time period that really makes it feel lived in. It makes it feel alive, and like every character here is a real person. The dialogue is written in a way that in the show has always been, where characters feel like real people. The things they say, the actions that they do, the way they think, is how a real person would act. That seems kind of intuitive, and maybe like it would be natural for that to be built in, but it is surprisingly really hard for a lot of shows or movies to make people feel like real people. A lot of times in order to move the story along, characters just have to make dumb decisions or do things that are completely out of character, but everything that happens is a natural progression of how characters would react to certain things and how they think and how they then react to certain moments. So all of that continues here, and the intensity moments are really played well, because we're getting into a point in Jesus' ministry, right, where the Pharisees are very upset with him, and they're getting more and more upset with him. That's not a spoiler. That's kind of happening. And we know where things are headed in Season 6 and 7, where, the big event happens. And the way that they're alluding to that and the way they're building up to it seems very natural. It is interesting to me. I will say that it does get, pretty intense by the end of Episode 6, to where I'm thinking, how much more intense can they make Season 6 and onward, where the big dramatic crucifixion happens, right? Like, how much more intense can we get? So I will say that the tone is like, I'm wondering how we're going to progress to the crucifixion, because I will say after these episodes, it does feel like the crucifixion is just right around the corner, which it kind of is, but we still have a whole week left, which is what Season 5 is going to be, and we have the finale of Season 4. So it is interesting to see. I'm curious to see how the writers Dallas, Ryan, and Tyler are going to handle the structure of this and the pacing and the timing of it. But the writing and the pacing and the timing of these episodes fits nicely in episodes 4 and in episodes 4 and 6. There's a cool way that they kind of, in the intro of episode 4 and throughout the episode of episode 6, ways that they find a unique way to phrase things, either if it's non-conventional storytelling to where it's non-sequential in the way that the events play out, or in the perspectives through which we're seeing events transpire. There's some cool ways that they kind of mix up the structure instead of just showing the episodes and the events play out in chronological order, showing them as they happen and showing them from the third-person perspective that we usually observe things in The Chosen, where we're just kind of spectators on events happening. Sometimes they do find interesting ways to look through the lens of a specific character or look through the perspective and tell the events in a non-sequential order to where it kind of mixes it up and keeps you on your toes a little bit. In episode 5, there's a lot of really cool moments as well, and the tone progression is getting increasingly darker. But I will say in episode 4, there's a lot of lighthearted moments, and there's still some levity here, a lot of really cool jokes and scenes and ways that the characters interact that are funny, that are entertaining. And since this is a dialogue-driven show, there's a lot of ways the dialogue does supplement the story, and it keeps things interesting and it keeps things alive. So I really appreciated that. There's a lot of really cool moments and a lot of really cool miracles that I think everybody will be excited to see. More Bible moments, more Bible dialogue that's happening, and some more insights into the lives of these characters. And it's just really interesting to see the ramifications after that big event from episode 3. It is almost too much for me, I will say that, which is saying something for me. So me being a huge Chosen fan, I walk out of the theater and I'm like, like that was a lot. I was there for 4 hours at the theater, which is a long time. So if you're not willing to see that, I do understand, because it is a big ask. It's a really ambitious thing to do. So it is a lot. I understand that. Towards people who are not going to theater just because of the runtime, it really is. It's a long runtime. And if I'm being completely honest, it is more exhausting than you'd think it would be, especially with 4 through 6, because these episodes are long and they are intense. There's a lot, like I'm just on the edge of my seat for most of episode 6. So it's a lot of like tension for extended periods of time, which isn't very relaxing. So, but that's, I guess, part of where the story is so good, because they're really getting you to care about these characters, and they're written in a way that is so human and so organic that you just are really fearful for them. So I guess that's a plus for the writing, but a minus for my body and for my glutes. There is an intermission, right? But the 5-minute intermission, I feel like, is like, how long should you make an intermission? I don't know you personally, but you know you, and if you don't want to go sit in the theater for 4 hours, I totally get that. I'm excited for episodes 7 and 8 when we only have 2. Despite the theater experience, which I always love the theater experience, so I am happy that I get to see these episodes on the big screen with a crowd, and I got to meet fellow Chosen fans at the theater. That was fun. The content itself is still incredible and amazing, and everything that we love from The Chosen continues here. It's not absent. It is all there, and even stronger than it has been previously. So I would definitely recommend, if you can, going to go see it on the biggest screen possible, because I know it's even like available on IMAX, which is awesome. So there you go. There's my basic spoiler-free review of The Chosen Season 4, episodes 4 through 6. I highly recommend you go see these in theaters because they are incredible, and they're really cool and insightful, and they just make you want to go back to the scriptures more, and they just give you the feelings that I have are very appropriate for the stuff that's happening in the episodes. I think it drew out all of the precisely correct emotions. It's a very specific feeling that I got from watching these episodes, and I think it was totally correct for the things that were happening in the events that were transpiring. So highly recommend you go see these episodes. If you have seen them already, what do you think of them? Without any spoilers, of course, be sure to let me know down below in the comments. Be sure to listen to my podcast, link down below in the description, if you want to hear my review of all 3 of these episodes. I'm going to be coming out with them over the next few days and over the next 2 weeks, before the finale comes out in 2 weeks, which is going to be very exciting. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Binge Jesus.